Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss how to check the tibia nail jig set. So it is very common part in a tibia nail. Whenever you go outside, sometimes a sleeve is missing, sometimes drill bit is missing, sometimes as a PG when you are preparing, then you get scolded because of missing items. So what all should you check when you are doing a case outside or inside your institute? So a tibia nail should have all the nails. You should have pre-op estimation by your digital x-ray, or you can do eyeballing and you should get an estimate of the length of the tibia nail that you are going to use. If the canal is very narrow, you should plan for 8 number nails. If the canal is wide, you should have 10 nails. Usually 9 and 10 are the most common size of tibia nails in Indian population that are used. Similarly, lengthwise, if the patient is very heighted, you should ask for a longer nail. Usually 10 into 30 to 10 into 34 or rarely 36 are the lengths that are needed. So these are the nails that you must have. Now also study for the fracture pattern. If you have any special requirement like high pre-bend nails, these are the normal nails where Herzog's bend is around 10 centimeter away. Similarly, there are high bend nails where the bend is here, which are used in very proximal tibia. Similarly, if you have proximal fracture pattern, do you need a suprapatellar nail? Similarly, if you have a distal fracture, do you need an expert tibia nail? Like this is a normal nail, but I have them extra hole at the tip so that I can use it as distal tip locking. But usually in expert nails there are two more holes here, so you will get better hold in distal lock nails or expert tibia nails. So this is all you should keep in mind before planning or ordering for a nail, that is suprapatellar nail, any special jig, any special length, any special width, so that you don't get messed up in between. Similarly, you should check if the screws are available. If there is 8 number nail, then you would have 3.9 mm screws. Similarly, the distal tip lock and expert tibia nails require a thinner diameter screw, so you should have adequate screws. Now you, after checking for the number of nails, we should move on to the next section. So for starting the surgery, whenever you plan it, you think from step 1, you should have a awl. Always check if the awl is sharp enough, and sometimes we need a cannulated awl. If you want, you can order it separately. Similarly, you have to check after you have inserted your awl and made an entry, you will require a guide wire. So check for guide wire. I have my guide wires outside, so I keep my guide wires in a guide wire tray. I will show them later on. So you should have a guide wire. In guide wire also you should have a beaded guide wire and a non-beaded guide. So we will come to guide wire afterwards. Similarly, you should have drill bits, 4 drill bits for proximal screws, and for distal, if 3.9 is used, then you should have a thinner drill bit. Similarly, you should have a K wire which is used for measuring the nail distance in a jig. You should have a Steinman pin for entry if you prefer it to use. So I prefer a Steinman pin for distal locking freehand technique. Similarly, one of the most commonly missed things in other sets is a proximal rimmer. You must check for proximal rimmer because femur nails are proximally 13 in diameter. So if you don't have this, then your nail is going to stuck or it will cause a iatrogenic fracture. This is one of the most frequent items missed by the lenders if you use a lender set. Now one other thing is a screwdriver for your screw. Check if it fits or not, because sometimes it doesn't fit. Similarly, you should have spanners that we will check now. So always check for this jig. Jig should not be missing. Now jigs may be of different type. Like I have this jig which has this part and this fits. Always check for fitting screws, because if they are missing, you are going to get into trouble. So always fit the jig personally yourself before surgery and don't rely on anyone else. So now after you have fit it, use a sample nail like this I have inserted, so that if the screw is not working, you can get it replaced in time. So always keep the direction. The Herzog's bend should be posterior and the jig should be outside, that is medial to the bone. So if I am preparing for the right sided tibia nail, so this is my right, so this should be inner side, so this is for the left and this is for the right, so it is medial to the leg, and this nail Herzog's bend is posterior. So always check if it is fitting or not, because if you get stuck in between, then there is a lot of trouble. So after you have bolted the nail inside, you have to check for the sleeves, because sometimes sleeves are out, if the or if sometimes sleeves may be missing itself. So check for the sleeve. There are marking tibia, so we are checking for the sleeves. This is fitting well. You can also insert your drill bit. So like this is going very well. So now also check for the other hole. This is also going very well. So you have to check everything before you proceed. Now there should be this T handle to tighten the screw properly and to remove it. Similarly, this is tibia sleeve, this is slap hammer which fits here to take the nail out or to further insert it in the end. So let me unscrew it, and I will also show you the guide wires and trimmers. So this is the hole for checking the level of the nail intraoperatively. So you should also check for the availability of reamers. I used to prefer flexible cannulated reamer. So this is the reamers at 8, 9, 8, 9. So this is not sequentially arranged, but I can read it. So I have 8 to 12 reamers. These are sufficient. I have this exchange tube to change for beaded wire. I have this scale for intraoperative measurement. Similarly, this is my wire holder. So these are different diameters of wire. So I have beaded and non-beaded both. So I am satisfied. So this way I can go in during the surgery without any issues. Also I would check for the drill working, whether the drill is working or not. Similarly, I like to use a table for tibia nailing. Sometimes some surgeons use hanging position. So whatever position you use, if there is any accessory that is needed, you should always check in for the OT before going to OT. The drill is functional or not, if there is electricity or not, if there is battery operated drill, then it should be fully charged. So always check for these things, side diameter of nail, and always go fully prepared so you don't get harassed in between. Also check for the status of fibula if there is need for fibulectomy. Also check if there is distal tibia fracture and a plate, fibula plate, semitubular plate is needed. I always keep a backup of narrow DCP or narrow LC DCP plus semitubular and recon plates, just in case I have to put a plate or there is any other issue or need accessory instrument for plating to reduce, to keep it reduced. Also keep different types of reduction forceps in hand in case you need to open up the fracture. There are some fracture patterns where you could simply use a percutaneous holder for reducing the fracture and pass everything, so you should have pointed reduction forceps also. Similarly, in case if there is a proper evaluation of x-ray of proximal and distal end are as necessary, so always insist on knee and ankle both x-rays. Sometimes you would be surprised to see a fracture extending up to the ankle. So if you are prepared, you would order for distal tibia plate. If there is a fracture proximally, you would order for proximal tibia plate and CC screw. So always insist on two views and two joints. I wish that these videos are helpful to you, and if these are helpful to you, please leave a comment and like and subscribe and motivate me to make similar video for femur nail and PFN also. Thank you very much.